Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am back with a new episode of the Horizons Author Lounge. And I'm excited because I have two amazing guests. And I'm excited because this is the week before my birthday. I should have worn my little birthday crown. I mean, because, next Sunday, well, this coming Sunday is my birthday. So remember what I said, there will be no show next Monday because I'll be just getting back from out of town. But it doesn't mean that I'm forgetting about y'all. I'm just going to leave you guys with oh, I have a birthday crown now. So, yes, here's my birthday crown. But I'm gonna leave you guys with one of our exciting episodes that we're gonna replay next week. And I hope you guys got to see the amazing interview that I did with the gentleman named Dwayne LeBlanc. I did that interview on Juneteenth, and it's all about a falsely accused man who spent 28 years in prison and in one of the most notorious prisons in the country, Angola, which is Louisiana State Penitentiary. So if you have not seen that interview yet, please, please, please make sure you watch it because you will just be astounded with what this man went through. But without any further ado, I would love to introduce you to my first guest, Miss J.R. Mason. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. It's good to see you tonight.
You as well. Loving the bling.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, I don't even mind telling people I'm going to be 52 on Sunday. And I don't mind telling people because I still feel youthful.
See, that's good because I still tell people I'm 30 and I'm going to say that until the cake lady looks at me funny.
I'm not
Like,
fooling with you.
I'm 30.
Oh my goodness, you are hilarious to me. So, first of all, thank you so very, very, very much for being on the show. And I think we've kind of known each other in passing for a while, but I'm not sure that we've ever really had a chance to really talk with each other. So I'm excited to talk with you tonight.
Same.
So in the meantime, in the between time, please tell the people who is J.R. Mason.
J.R. Mason is a very disturbed thriller author. It didn't start like that. I started writing normal things, and then it just kind of devolved into chaos and murder. And
Ooh,
yeah, so that's where we're at now.
oh my, no, oh my goodness, you're making me clutch my pearls already.
I'm sorry, girl.
So, well, what got you into writing this type of fiction? Or is this really an instructional manual?
It's How to Kill Your Neighbors. Actually, there were so many pre-orders. I actually had to make a video that said, y'all, this is a fiction book. This is not an actual instruction manual. But we joke that it is an instruction manual and that they're taking the course, How to Kill Your Neighbors and get
Love
away with
that.
it. That's the important part. This actually would never have come if I had the most perfect neighbor. He was amazing. Like, perfect. Like, if you ever just had a perfect neighbor, but then he passed away, and then I
Oh,
got new neighbors.
and you didn't like the new neighbors.
I didn't say all that. I just said I wrote a book called How to Kill Your Neighbors. That's all I said. Don't put words in my mouth, Dr. Rhonda. I don't need those problems.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I won't say that. Well, tell me about the book.
My instruction manual. It's actually based on my real life neighbors on my real life street. Like, their names are actually in it, and some actual scenarios are in this book. And they're reading it now, and they're all looking at me like I'm the problem. Excuse me, like, y'all did all this crazy stuff that I was able to put in a book, so clearly I'm not the problem here. So
Do you see this? Do you see this comment on the screen right now?
How to Kill Your Coworkers is next, because they asked for a sequel, and there wasn't supposed to be a sequel. I actually ended it where I ended it after this cookout. I can't wait for you to listen to this audio. And then here comes Tanisha Stewart, one of my pen sisters. She was like, nah, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. And she's like, and I'm like, hey, dang. So I did it. And then it kind of left it a little open, like it could have a sequel or not. And
Okay.
the way I got harassed and stalked, now there's a sequel. And so it's How to Kill Your Coworkers, which that's based on my, of course, the phone would ring. That's based on my actual real life experiences in the workplace. And so some of these people are going to know it's them in there.
Oh, so they're going to recognize themselves.
They're absolutely going to recognize if they read it. Yep.
I look, don't have them calling the people after you now.
I know. After this, I'm never going to get hired again. No one's going to hire me. They're going to see in my profile that I wrote a book called How to Kill Your Coworkers, and I'm going to be unemployable. And the level of manipulation that takes place in this book, no man's ever going to date me again. They're just going to be like, yeah, no. Just going to get another cat.
Well, it sounds like, when you write your books, do you have to go to a dark place, or do you live by what I like to call the what if factor? Like, what if this happened?
I am the dark place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just not going to elaborate on it.
Look, I don't know what's wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. Yeah, I think I need therapy. I definitely do. And the fact that I use real friends' names and real people who've actually angered me in some way, shape, or form, or done me wrong, I make them the victims in the books. Like, I am the darkness, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, they don't. So when people see their names in your books, they don't get upset with you?
No. Most of them are excited. They're like, yes. Am I going to die? Like, I get requests to be unalived in the books. People have asked, like, can you please kill me in one of your books? And I'm like, what? That's creepy.
That's funny. I guess everybody wants to have their little claim to fame.
I guess, but why do you want to die? Why don't you just want to be like one of the detectives in Stolen Pieces or something? But yeah, no, they ask. But I'm very methodical, and the way my mind works, there's like an order to everything. And if you're going to kill someone, these are the steps you need to take. And so
Eric said he's been begging for 5 books.
Yeah, he wants to be killed in one of the books. But I can't, because I already have a Detective Eric Burgess in one of the books. So, I can't just add him to another book and unalive him. Yeah.
All right, Eric, so you're going to have to stop asking. Oh, why Stevie say he was excited to see people he knew in the book?
Yeah, she was in she's in the thriller group, and a lot of the fellow thriller authors, I included them in the books, and I didn't mean to unalive. Some of them didn't quite make it out. It wasn't intentional, but that's the turn that the story took, and so yeah.
Oh, okay, so it was an accident, is what you're saying.
It was, and Tony here just wanted to cuss. She was like, "Let me say the F word," and I'm like, "All right, I got you." So she gets to say the F word in this book. She's all excited.
Oh, yay, Tony. Well, would you say that it's fun? Because it seems like you really get to let your imagination go wild when you're writing your stories.
Mostly because I have a dark desire to unalive certain people, and I can't do it in real life. So I have to do it in the books. Wow. And literally, that's it. That's where we're at.
Well, sometimes it's good when I have a hoodie that I designed, and it says I'm an author. I don't get mad. I just put you in a book. So sometimes you can put them in a book, and you can do whatever you want to them. It's better than doing it for real.
Exactly. Way more inventive, less messy, no DNA involved. It's perfect.
Okay, so those of you who are just joining us, we are talking with author J.R. Mason, How to Kill Your Neighbor, and then we're also talking about how to kill your coworker. Oh my goodness! And she says they're not instruction manuals; they're just really good fiction, really good thriller fiction. But I think they might be instruction manuals.
They might be. It's fine.
So how do you just come up with the ideas? Is it because you see people? I mean, because even if there are people that you want to pretend to kill, how do you come up with the storyline around killing that person in your story?
Well, and so that's the problem. Five of these books so far, four of these books so far are all based on real life, real events. So all I have to do is just make it make sense. But they're all, everything's factual, which is disturbing. Like, how is my life this chaotic and weird that I'm able to tell these stories? Like, for instance, in How to Kill Your Coworkers, I got taken to HR on my fourth day of work.
Mm.
You want to know why?
Why?
It wasn't no money laundering. I didn't steal anything. I wasn't late. What was I doing? I washed my hands and sanitized my workstation daily.
They took you to HR for that?
HR had a whole meeting. The HR director, my manager, there was a little HR manager in the corner typing up, writing up stuff. Yes, day four. You want to talk to me about how I was ready to poison the whole water cooler and take everyone out? Day four. So, like, all of this stuff is real.
Shame on you for being clean.
I know, right? And spoiler alert, the best part was the HR director. She was like, "We are not a culture that's concerned with germs." Who?
But even if they're not a culture that's concerned with germs, why is it a problem that somebody is?
That part. And the best part was it was my wipes. I bought my own standing desk and everything, my own wipes.
That's crazy.
So I'm cleaning my property with my property. You're taking me to HR on the fourth day of work. So yeah. It's total chaos in this book. And I feel like it's justifiable workplace violence because the things that go on in this book and the things that go on in this book with the actual neighbors, it's like, who are you? Why are you doing this? See, you got to go. It's time to go.
Oh goodness. I can see where you get your story ideas from. Because see, that would have been a whole couple of stories if I had gone through that experience.
And that's not even it. It's full. Like, everything in there happened. Two of the stories are from someone else that had some beef that they needed to get out, so I added it in. But everything in these books except the maiming and the murder is true. So and it's so bad that it makes you want to unalive these people. So it's very easy, very relatable.
Well, I can see where you get your story ideas. Now let's talk a bit about your writing process. Are you a morning or a night writer?
First thing in the morning.
I would have thought you were going to say you were a night writer just based on what you write.
Girl, I'll be out here falling asleep on the porch by the fire, knocked out. Like, I can't do anything at night. I'm a punk. But first thing in the morning, like 5 a.m., I'm awake and I'm dictating all of my books into my phone. And
Now, see, I like that. I sometimes have to. I mean, I don't write the entire book through dictation, but sometimes when I know I don't have a lot of time to write, I know all these ideas are in my head. I will pull out my phone and record myself, and I'll do it in the dictation mode. So I'm saying it. It types it out for me, and then I can go back and edit it later. Is that kind of how you do things?
that is. But then, like, with Stolen Pieces 3, this one took like a little darker turn with the dictation because I'm in this bed, right? And my room literally is black as my darkened soul. Like, I have blackout curtains. It's pitch black in the room. I painted the room black and everything. It's so sexy. But I'm dictating into the phone, but the subject nature of what I'm dictating is like this torture and all this stuff going on. And this person is restrained to this bed. I do have a 4-point restraint system on my bed.
Okay.
Shh.
Well, you on the internet live, and there's people watching. You can't tell me.
We're gonna just mute that all out. It's not live. We never said anything like that. Nothing. But yeah, so I restrained myself in this bed. Like it's freezing cold. I'm not under the covers. The room's cold. To give myself an idea of how's this victim gonna feel in this situation? Can I even reach the nightstand if it's not logical for me to reach the nightstand in this situation? Like, so I'm restrained in the bed with one hand free, dictating this scene. And yeah, it got dark.
That actually sounds kind of interesting. I mean, that's what you call really putting yourself in the scene.
Absolutely. Because one thing about any of my books, you can't say that this could never happen,
Right.
because that's what I've consulted with everyone, police, detectives, canine unit, like everyone, every possible professional I could consult with for these books I did. So I want my fiction to be believable and to
Yes.
be like, damn, that really actually could kind of happen a little bit. So yeah,
Mm.
so me having to
I
restrain
think
myself in
for
that
me,
situation.
for me,
Hmm.
that's the scariest type of fiction. When even with a movie, if I see something and the killing is too absurd, it's not scary to me. But when it looks like something that could really happen, that's what gives me all the chills.
Exactly. So
I like it. So now
thanks.
you also mentioned that you have a thriller group.
Oh, well, I don't have it.
So,
I'm just in it.
or you're just in the okay, you're in the thriller group.
Yes.
So do you guys get to bounce ideas off of each other, or do you sometimes get feedback from the group, or do you just kind of give each other company, so to speak, when you're writing?
So what had happened was
Oh.
one morning, author Tanisha Stewart inboxed me about testicular torture, and I'm like, "Why are you calling me? Like, why are you calling me about this, ma'am?" Looking. So yes, any weird thing they will call me to find out about it, and I'm mildly bothered, a little flattered, but more bothered. But yes, we absolutely bounce each ideas off of each other. She could be through all she wants, but it happened and she knows it. That's why she's laughing. But we definitely bounce ideas. It's called Black Women Who Read. I never get this right. Thrillers, horrors, and suspense. Somebody's gonna write it in this message, but yeah. So we are very helpful in that manner, and I trust that if I send them my book, they're gonna come back with like, look, this is not quite up to par, fix this. And the same, if they send me their work, I'm going to read it and I'm going to give them honest feedback.
Yeah, that's the key to it. I think and I've said this to my clients before, that when you want a beta reader, sometimes it's best not to go with your friends and family, because everything that you write, they're going to say it's amazing. And sometimes you need that real honest feedback. Not just critical just to be critical, but constructive criticism that's going to help your book to be better. And sometimes that's not always going to come from your buddies or your family members.
We'll see something wrong with my family members and friends, because these people don't care. They will tell you. But upside, I have yet to have any of them be like, what is this? Like, this is hot
Well, that's
garbage. Like, so that's good. But it's always Tanisha is the problem and Kira is also a problem, because they're the ones who will be like, well, what if this happened instead? And I'm like, that means I have to rewrite like a chunk of this. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. And they're like, I don't care. So, but it made it better. Like every time they suggest that type of crazy twist or something, it
mm-hmm.
it has always made it better. So yeah, and they want like a 10 book series of the How to Kill, probably what Anna Jay is going to say, and I'm over her too. So
Oh, you know what? I'm happy y'all here, even if JR isn't.
no, I love them. I love them all. They're awesome.
I can imagine. I mean, the support that you're getting in this interview is amazing, and I love it when I see people's support system come out and support them during these interviews. And it really does a lot for the author. Now you have a couple of events coming up, and one of them, I think, the one that's coming up on Oh, the one that's coming up next is Between the Wines.
Read Between the Wines. It's like it's in New Brighton, and there's like author, and then it'll be wine vendors, and then author, and then wine vendors and author. And so we're
Nice.
just kind of reading. Literally, they're reading between the wines, and these people come out and they get like schnockered and just buy books.
Love that.
I love
Now,
it
where is
too.
this going to take place?
This is in New Brighton, PA.
Okay. All right. Well, if in case there's some folks from New Brighton, PA watching, or somebody who might want to travel to New Brighton, PA, where do they go to get this information? Just Google it, y'all. Just Google it.
Girl, yes, it's on Facebook. I'm so not helpful. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I can like go to these events and play the audios and stuff while I'm at the event without interfering with like other people's stuff. Because the audios of all these books and some of these other authors that are in here, their audios are and I feel like everyone needs to hear those.
Nice. Well, that would actually be fun to kind of listen to the audio. And we haven't even gotten to that part yet. But before we get to the audio part, I wanted to ask you about your other event that you have coming up in July. The Bellevue.
Oh, yeah. That's a Bellevue Night Mart where it's just a community event.
Wait, you said a night mart?
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, I mean, because I've been to events that are they're like pop-ups, but they're at night and outside. Is that kind of what this is?
Yep. And I light up my whole tent and everything, and yeah, it's fun.
Do you light it up scary, like with red and orange and stuff like that, or just
no? I'm classy. I'm classy with mine. Just white lights. It's basic. Yeah.
Okay. All right, classy. Now let's talk, and we only have a few minutes left, believe it or not. But let's talk about the audiobooks. First of all, congratulations on turning your books into audiobooks. It's not as easy as sitting there and reading and recording yourself reading the story. So can you talk a little bit about that process and how you came to turn your books into audio?
Well, I got laid off, but I knew I wanted an audiobook. And I'm like, okay, how hard can this be? Okay, we're gonna go and we're gonna read the book into the microphone. Child, it was not that easy. Okay, I'm in the dining room. Nothing's insulated. I'm just reading, just going to town. Like it ended up taking me like 8 months to do Stolen Pieces because I was just messing everything up. I didn't know what I was doing with the editing. I just know that like I have a background in television production, and I wanted my audiobooks to sound like television. I want it to sound like you're listening to it and you turn around and it's like television, like, So that's what I wanted it to sound like. And it does. My audiobooks are fire. Like they are fire. And that's all I said, what I said.
Okay. Come on now. I love that.
And so right now I'm working on The Hitchhiker by Tanisha Stewart, and it is so dark. And I've done Progeny by Kenya Mostime.
So you're not just reading your books, you're reading other people's books.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened, right? Like what? Okay, so I had started just mine, and that was the plan. That was it.
And then everybody heard how good a job you did.
And then, Kenya came and she was like, hey, what you doing? And I'm like, nothing. And she's so I did Progeny. And then Gilletta Shavers had The Inheritance of Amaya Montgomery. And then here came Samira with The Hostage. And then I asked Tanisha, and Tanisha's like, she's real funny about her audiobooks. And so I was like, I want this. And she's like, and I'm like, so I'm so excited. It's so dark. And I'm so excited. I'm here for all of it. So yeah, the thriller is where I live. Oh, and I did one urban romance by Daisy Savage, which I'm like, urban romance? What? I've been killing all these people in these audiobooks, and you want me to? Okay, let's do it.
Okay, now, so how do you channel the different characters so you can make voices? Because that's one of the great things about audiobooks is that when the narrator can do the different voices and you know who's talking based on the voice.
Well, I just change up my voice a little, and then I have like a deeper effect that I can put on some of the voices to make it drop slightly, and then one that makes it go up slightly. So when two women are talking, I will raise one, and when two men are talking, I will lower one, so you can differentiate between the two.
That makes total sense.
And then I like depth to my audiobooks, even though there's like sound effects. There are horrible sound effects in some of these, like traumatic, like but there are times where someone is being like called, like I was screaming Leo in Progeny, but I went across the room and screamed it, because if Leo's in the basement playing with dead things, right, and someone's calling him, it's not going to sound like it would in the microphone. It's going to sound distant and like round, right? And so going across the room and shouting it, it gives it a different feel, right? And then like if somebody's on the telephone, I have a telephone effect for that. So it sounds like they're talking to you on the telephone.
Love that. And I'm sure you're not doing all of this from your house. You must have a really fire studio.
Girl, I'd be in the dining room giving birth to demon babies and chanting some kind of crazy. Look, I just got tortured in a bathtub in the dining room the other day, and the police were outside. Like, oh my gosh, so the police are gonna come in the house. I'm like begging for my life, and the police are outside. Oh. But I mean, it's fun. I have so much fun doing these. Like, yeah, so I'm excited. I cannot wait until this is done.
I'm excited for you. Yeah, and I will be calling you like, what is going on with this book?
Oh yeah, you definitely will. It's wild. It's wild.
So now we only have a couple minutes left. You don't have any of the books with you right now?
I have all of them.
Oh, wonderful. Show us the covers.
Confessions of a Sane Single Woman, which is about my actual trash love life. Crazy men. This is part 2 because these people acted nuts and wouldn't leave me alone, so I had to write part 2. And then here's Stolen Pieces, part 1.
Love the cover.
Thank you. And then they went crazy, so I had to write part 2. And I was done with that. And then they were like, nope, there's a cliffhanger, so we need part 3. And then they were like, part 4. And I said, all y'all can kiss the black part of my behind. We're not doing that. And then we ended up with this. And now we have this. And I'm so over everybody because the plan was to stop writing after this. So I'm done. I give up. And now I'm surrounded by books.
I don't think anybody's going to let you leave the literary industry anytime soon.
Oh, I'm trying, but thanks.
Yes, Tanisha, I noticed that too. Tanisha said, notice how her face lights up. Oh, there it is. Notice how her face lights up with the murder books.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about?
And Jenny wants you to do prequels now.
She can go away too. There's a Jenny in this book, and she might not make it out. So I'm just saying, she better chill out over there.
Oh my goodness, this has got to be one hilarious interview, and I'm really enjoying it. But unfortunately, we are at the end of the segment. But I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me, and allowing me to get to know you better. I would love to be able to stay in touch. And whenever you want to come promote another book, hit your girl up.
You know it. Let me know when you finish How to Kill Your Neighbors.
Oh, believe me, it will be this week. Trust.
Okay. I don't want to say I know where you live.
Oh, goodness. Let me hurry up and finish reading this book because you know All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really enjoyed this interview. Best wishes and all you do. And I'm going to see you on the book.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. That was J.R. Mason. She's the author of How to Kill Your Neighbor, How to Kill Your Coworker, and a host of other books where they teach you how to kill people. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. We are about to jump into our next interview. But just before we do, I just want to remind you all that I told you guys my birthday is in a week. And so I will be doing specials leading up to my birthday and even on my birthday. I'm going to be doing a different special each day. So just make sure that you continue to look at my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages so you can get that daily special. And the first special will be posted after this interview. So don't go too far. I don't want y'all to miss anything. But now, without any further ado, I would love to bring to the stage Miss Shareen King. Woo! How are you, ma'am? Oh, wait, are you on mute? I think you're on mute. You just tapped the little microphone. Uh-oh. It won't let me unmute you. Well, see, while Shareen is working on that, I'm just tell you a little bit about her. We met each other at the National Black oh my goodness, the National Black Book Festival in Houston. And she is amazing. The name of her book. Well, first of all, you got to find her on all platforms. I just heard her.
Okay. I was like, what's happening? You would think I know how to operate a laptop. I do work in television production. I can work a laptop.
Sometimes it happens. It's all good. It's all good. I was just telling everybody. I was just about to tell them about the King's Daughters, and that they can find you on Producer Girl 4 on all social media platforms. But on top of that, tell us all about you.
That's a big open. Tell us all about you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me into your space to talk to all your peoples. You look like you was having a great time with Miss J.R. Mason. I am scared to read her books, by the way. I'm like, oh Lord, kill your co-workers. I might be talking about this on live on Instagram Live. I was like, oh Lord. That's hilarious. She I love how you could tell how much she loves her books and her writing because it shows her conversation. So I enjoyed listening in the wings to that segment. But I am from the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I'm born and raised New Yorker. And I grew up in I would say my family is pretty big. I had a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins. And I have 4 siblings on my mom's side and then 3 siblings on my dad's side. So there's a few of us in there. And I went to college at SUNY Stony Brook, which was, back then we didn't know we were so fancy in the Hamptons, but come to find out we was up there in Montauk with the fancy people going to
fancy. I like how you said it. You didn't know you were fancy.
We didn't know. We didn't know.
Everybody was living like that.
We didn't know we was living like that. We was like, was we fancy when we was in school? Because we thought we was just, doing the thing. But now the Hamptons is so popular. It's like, oh, we went to school in the Hamptons.
Love that.
Like, okay. And then I found my way into community leadership while I was on campus, and that led me into entertainment. I became a concert promoter, and I started working with different celebrities and entertainers, and then that kind of shifted me into the whole area of working in the music business. And then I went from working in the music business into the television business, and this is where I have been in television and film. So I tried to condense my whole life in 2 seconds.
Well, tell us about the book, because see, that's gonna make you expand on yourself.
Yes. Okay, so my book, it's a memoir. It's called Candy's Girl, and it's the power of faith to help conquer life storms. And so, little backstory: my mom was her nickname was Candy's Girl. And like I said, I grew up in the Lower East Side. And when I was little, she was involved in some very
you know, crazy street life friends,
Mhm.
and she was involved with some drug dealers and things. And so she was murdered when I was a little girl.
Wow.
And so I had all these different life situations that kind of took me through a different path of trauma all throughout my life. Like, so my mom was murdered, then my dad got on drugs and he was addicted to drugs for a while, and then my sister died, and then my grandmother died, and all these different things just kept happening to me. And so I had all this trauma. But what happened was I lived kind of with all of that inside of me and never really dealing with it, because
Mm,
when we were younger, you stood in a child's place. Nobody never really
right.
spoke to kids. You didn't get help the way you should have. And everything was kind of, you kept all your secrets in your house and don't tell everybody outside what's going on at home, that kind of thing. And so as an adult, I created these patterns in my life that, I made decisions based on the things that happened to me in my childhood, but I didn't
Yeah.
discover that until I wrote the book. So the book became a blueprint for me and a foundation for me to beat adversity, right? How to beat adversity, how to overcome suffering and tragedy and things that happen into your life where you can excel and be successful in your life. And so my book is a blueprint for that. It basically came out of me wanting to know more about why I make certain decisions in my life and wanting to heal myself.
Mhm.
And a book came out of it, and when I started just sharing with my friends, like, these different stories in the book, they were like, this is a book. Like, why don't you share this with other people?
Yes.
And so I had to get out of my own way in order to accept the fact that this book could probably help people find a way to, help them discover things about themselves that they didn't know, and to help them also beat adversity, because a lot of times we get stuck with adversity. We feel like we're suffering, we become victims, we don't know how to move, we don't know what to do because we don't have the tools. And
Right.
so I had to work on the tools of what do I need to do in order to heal myself from these different situations so that I could be a successful human being.
Amen.
Like, what do
Amen.
I need to do? And so I shared some of those things of what I did, the tools I used, um, just to, kind of process information. And it's very basic. It's not complicated. We a lot of times we make things in our life more complicated than it has to be, but it's
True.
really simple. The only challenge is you have to want to do the work, and you have to sit down and be quiet and just really listen to what it is that is giving you pain in your heart. You know what I
I
mean?
got it. Yeah.
Emotions will give you information. I like to say this all the time. You will get information from all of your emotions. And if you start listening to the things that pain you, you will start to understand, okay, this is something that I need to deal with. This is something I need to work out. I need to understand, why does this feeling keep coming across to me, or why do I keep making these same kind of decisions? And it all goes back to your childhood. I know people say that all the time, but it's because
But it,
it's
it really does. It
it's
really
because
does.
it's true. It is
Mhm.
because it's true. When we're born, we are born like a little, blueprint of something. And it's like everything that happens to us kind of imprints a formula on us, and it makes us make decisions and do things in a certain particular way based on how we have been treated, or what we have
Right.
felt, or what we have been exposed to, and that's why people have different attachments.
Well, one thing I noticed as you were sharing is
Hmm.
that you didn't wait to have it all together before you started writing.
I did not.
It almost seemed like a healing process and a learning process. Excuse me. It kind of seemed like a learning process and a healing process along the way.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think that was the mistake that some people make. They think they have to have it all together or they have to have resolved everything before they start writing.
No, you don't have to have it all together. I mean, like I said, it took me years to write everything because I just started writing things, going to therapy, talking to different people, reading my word, God unfolding different things to me. It was all of that. And so all of that was my resources of putting the book together. It wasn't just like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and put this and with that and
Right.
it just all kind of came together, in that way. And it was interesting because I never thought I would write a book because, for goodness sake, I have ADHD, I've got dyslexia, but it's funny that when you think you have all these particular deficits in your life,
Right.
God will use those deficits to kind of shine a light on you. So
That
I
is
say
very
it's
true.
funny because I work in an industry where I have to write every single day. You know what I mean? I'm a television producer. I have to write every single day. It's not easy for me. I do it, but I have to really concentrate and really work hard at doing it. And I've discovered a way to not become a victim of my different adversities. And that's what I think people fall sometimes short, not of their own fault, but there's a thing called learned helplessness. And
Mm,
and it's the theory of when so many things have happened to you negatively in your life that
right.
you start to believe that nothing good can ever change in your life. Nothing good could ever happen. And so you get in this learned helplessness and you can't get out of it. But that's what I want to show people, is that you don't have to be a victim to the suffering and the adversity in your life. You can overcome a lot of things. You just have to really want to do that. And you can do it. It just takes the real mindset of, I don't want to live this way. I want to change. I want to be stronger. I want to be better. I want to have better relationships with people. I want to communicate better. If you're looking for better, you can change yourself.
Well, now I've got to play devil's advocate a little bit because there could be somebody who's saying that's easy for you to say because you have it all together now, or you don't know what I've been through. Maybe it was easy for you, but you don't know the pain that I've been through or the pain that I've had to deal with. How do you respond to somebody who would say something like that?
Yeah, I would say that all of us have suffering. Everybody. There is not one single person in this world who hasn't had some type of adversity or suffering in their life. But behind every situation, there is a purpose for that. And I think if you can change your perspective and try to understand not why this is happening to me, but what has happened to me, and let me understand what has happened to me instead of trying to figure out, oh, why is this happening to me? It's not about that. It's what has happened to you and what can you learn from what has happened to you. So none of us are exempt from feeling suffering or going through suffering or anything like that. It's just on the other side of success, it is
Mm-hmm.
suffering. Every successful person has suffered a major loss, some adversity, ups and downs, failures, but there's no losses when you are doing things. It's only wins. Even your losses are wins because they should be giving you information about what you did and how you did it. And maybe could be learning, next time I'm going to do this instead of that. The only thing that you have to really change in your mind is that you want to keep going. That's the most
Mm,
important thing. You
that's
have to
big.
you have to have the mentality of, regardless of whatever happens to me or happens around me, right? Because not everything happens to us. Sometimes things just happen around us,
Yes.
that you are going to be set on the idea of, whatever happens, I'm going to keep going. Because guess what? Everything's not going to go right. It's not. The business is going to fail. The book might be a flop. You know what I mean? The people may not come to the event. Your social media may not blow up. All of those things could happen. and it shouldn't prevent you or stop you from still pursuing what you want to do and still moving forward in your life. And it's all about your perspective and your mindset. And I think that is the main one of the main things that I talk about in the book, is that you have to work on your mind. You have to work on your mind, and you have to heal your heart, because Martha Beck, she's a life coach that I listen to. She's so smart woman. And one of the things that she says is that we all deserve to have peace. And she's right. We all deserve to have peace in our life. But how do we get peace? We have to get peace by healing ourselves. And the only person responsible for healing you is yourself. So you have to have that, like attitude. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get healed. I'm going to be healed. I'm going to live my best life every day, and you create a lifestyle of changing the perspective in your life. Create a lifestyle that allows you to see things in a positive light. And when you do that, you'll start seeing things around you change. You'll start seeing things around you open up. Your circles of people will change. You'll start noticing different things will come, to light to you. It's very interesting. Even Gabby Bernstein, she's another life coach that I listen to. I listen to a lot of people.
I see.
She says, find the hearts in your day. Look in the sky. The cloud is shaped by hearts. There's hearts all around you throughout your whole day. Everywhere you look, it could be on a car, on a taxi, on a plane, wherever. There's hearts everywhere. And if you start doing this little exercise, you will realize how much light and love is around you always. And it's so funny because it's such a small little practice, but it does work. It's like all of a sudden you start noticing hearts everywhere. You're like, oh my God, look at a heart. Oh my God, there's a heart. It's like the same idea of when you're like, I think I want to buy me a new car and I'm going to get, a Mazda X5, whatever. I don't know cars like that, but whatever the car is. And all of a sudden, now you're driving around and you start seeing that car everywhere you go.
That's a great analogy. That is so true.
Car everywhere. You're like, oh, there goes the car. Oh, there goes the car. There goes the car. It's the same thing with the hearts. The same exact theory that, when you start thinking about love and light and you start thinking about hearts, you're going to start seeing it everywhere and finding it everywhere. And so I try to give those practices in my book too, for people to use to help them change their mindset and to just get past, it could be a small thing, it could be a big thing. The practice works for all. Know what I mean?
But do you have a copy of the book with you?
I do have a copy of the book.
Ta-da! There we go. Show us the copy of the book. Is that a hardback?
Say it again.
That's a hardback?
It's a hardback. It comes in paperback.
Nice.
It comes in paperback. It's on Amazon. And, it's a very easy book to read. If you read the reviews on the book, what I love, what a lot of people have been saying about the book is that it's such a easy read. Like they read it in one setting. And I'm like, really? They're like, I couldn't put it down, because I also share a lot of my own personal stories in there as well. But I wanted it to be inspiring and entertaining. So, I wrote a few stories in there about my days with different celebrities that I worked with and entertainers and stuff like that. And then I also, one of the unique things that I did in the book too, was that I allow people to see a lot of my photos throughout the years. So there's a particular QR code that they could scan on the book and then get to all the it's like over 300
pretty
photos.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like over 300 photos in the book. So I think that's like really cool because, people like to see images. Since Instagram has come out, people are all about pictures.
Yeah. And you being a television producer, do you have pictures of some famous people too?
Oh yeah, it's all in the book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all in the book. Once you scan the code, that's why I said there's over 300 photos of me with different people that I've worked with. Steve Harvey, Queen Latifah. Uh, my gosh, so many. I mean, I've been working in television for 20 plus years now. I'm like, dang, has it been that long already? But yeah, I'm over 20 years now in the business. And so I've worked with a number of people because I started out working with Queen Latifah in the music business. I was
Nice.
working for her entertainment company, Flavor Unit. And then she wanted to start her television show, her daytime talk show. And then I got on that talk show, and I didn't know anything about television at the time, but I was like, we're going to try this out. We're going to see what happens. And once I started in television, I never went back to music because I really just loved the storytelling. But I also feel like it tapped into me wanting to help people because I also
Yeah.
have that gene in me too, because I went to college and I got a degree in psychology. And so I think there's a little bit of, oh, thank you for liking the cover, girl. There's a little bit of that in there with me too. And so then I went from working on Queen Latifah to working with Tyra Banks. And then I worked with Harpo at OWN. I worked for Nate Berkus on the Nate Berkus show. And then I worked
And
for
you have been around, girl.
Yes. And I worked for Steve Harvey for several years. And now I work at Access Hollywood with Kid Hoover and Mario Lopez and Zuri and Scott Evans. And so we do our fun entertainment news show that we're a fun team over there. We have a good time.
Wow. So now I know you said you were in music, then you moved over to TV and you love TV. You didn't go back to music. Are books going to be the next big thing for you, or are you sticking with TV?
It's interesting because everyone who has read the book has said that there is a second book in here because there's a lot of things that I didn't put in here, about like relationships and just other stories too, like other stories about me just working in the industry. And so I think maybe I might write a second book. It's kind of in the works. I'm just kind of seeing, where it goes. But I think I will always work in television and film. Like that is where, my heart is. It's a lifestyle for me. I literally spend every day of my life working because it's just part of my life. It's not a job, it's really my lifestyle. I could be watching a TV show and get an idea and stop everything and be like, oh, let me write this idea out so that I could use it on the show. And it's just, I think when you find something that you're passionate about and that brings you that kind of joy too, that's where you need to be grounded,
I love that. Well,
Mhm.
for those of you who are just joining us, I'm talking with author Shareen King. She is a television and film producer, and she's also the author of Candy's Girl. If you could hold that up one more time. And Candy's Girl is a memoir, and
Yes.
it basically talks about her journey through life and then kind of the lessons that you've learned along the way.
Yes. And I basically give little practical tools that people can also use to insert into their life. If you're trying to, figure out how you can heal yourself with certain things or see yourself in a different light, this book will allow you to begin to do that. It's not going to give you all the answers, but it's a foundation of information that's helpful to get you started in your life, practical tools. Because like I said, a lot of times we grow up, we don't have the tools. Our parents do the best job they can because they don't have the tools, and their
Right.
parents did the best job they can because they didn't have the tools.
Contrary to popular belief, I know everybody thinks they're an expert and everybody wants to write a book. There's no real manual on raising a child. And
No.
even the people who write those types of books are only talking from their experience. they can't really talk. They can't really tell it from somebody else's perspective.
Yes, that's so true. That is so, so true. And so we do the best we can with what we're given. But I think as people, all of us are created with a gift, right? God has given us all a gift and it's inside of us. And our responsibility is to pull it out. What is the gift inside of me that is God given? And I think that we are all here to share our gifts with others. It's not necessarily, the gift is not for you. You know what I mean? It's not for you. It's not for you to make you a millionaire, to give you this lifestyle of this, that, and the third. It's not any of that. We are here to all be a community for one another, to help one another be better, live better, teach better. And so for me, when I started recognizing that, I realized, you know what? Shame on me if I think I want to keep all this information to myself. It's my responsibility. No, for real. It's my responsibility as a Christian woman, as a woman of God, to share what has been downloaded and imparted to me with others. That's my responsibility, to do that. If the book only reached one person and they change the way they think about themselves and think about their life, then boom, that's it. That's why I said, is there a second book? I don't know. You know what I mean? There possibly could be, but I feel like that is the messaging, is that once you have the tools, it's your responsibility to share it with other people. Don't gatekeep. Don't keep it to yourself. Share the information. You know what I mean? Because people want to live better and they want to do better. They just sometimes don't know how. Need a little help, just a little help,
And I'll tell you that there are some people who don't want to tell their story because they're embarrassed about the journey that they went through. They don't want everybody to know where they came from, especially if you're a woman of status now. You don't want to tell people how you might have been a woman of ill repute at one time.
Yes. And you know what? I felt that shame too. Like I didn't have a perfect life. You know what I mean? My mother was involved in drugs. My father got addicted to drugs. That didn't say they weren't great people. They were good people, but they just fell into these particular lifestyles that took them a different way. And I lost both of my parents when I was very young, and I had to move around different family members when I was growing up. And all of that was hard and challenging. I felt so much shame about it. And then once I started realizing, like, no, all of these things happen to you to help other people. There are other people out in this world who similar things have happened to them. They felt abandoned by their families, or they were adopted, or just never felt like they belonged, whatever the circumstance is. And it's like you have to release that shame in order to begin to understand, like, there's a purpose for your life. Everybody has a purpose. And it's just tapping into that and knowing why, not, like I said, not why this happened to me, but what has happened to me and what can I learn from it? That's what you want to start doing. Stop thinking about the why, because that's where you fall into that helplessness of like, oh, all these things have happened to me. I'm a victim of this. I'm a victim of that. Well, take adversity and make adversity a victim.
Right. You don't have to be a victim. You can be a survivor. You survived what you've been through. You're not a victim of what you've been through. Love
Correct.
That.
Correct.
Well, Shareen, I really, really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you so much for being on the show. I know we were trying to do this a couple of times, and I'm glad we finally got it done. So, best wishes to you. Continue to promote the book. Are you coming back to Houston?
I don't know. You talking about for the conference?
Yes.
I don't know if I will be back to Houston. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out another way to link up some kind of way.
Yes, I'm around. I'm doing all kind of things. You can follow me on social media and see all my behind the scenes from TV shows that I work on and stuff. But I try to give positive message out there too. Always posting good, joyful things if you're looking for a moment of joy. So follow me on Instagram.
All right. Well, thanks once again for being on the show. Oh, yeah, it's my birthday crown.
I love it. I love it. Keep wearing your crown, sis. Keep wearing your crown.
Yeah, let me straighten it. Well, you have a wonderful evening. Best wishes on all you do. The people are saying they need you to do that second book. So,
Oh, okay. Second book. Okay,
yeah.
I can do it. I can do it.
All right. Well, thanks once again. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. Another great show. Amazing audience, a lot of interaction. Thank you so much for supporting the Horizons Author Lounge. Meet me back here every Monday night at 7 p.m., at least every Monday night, except for next week. There will be no show next week, but we will be right back the first Monday in July, and we already have guests. If you would like to be a guest in the Horizons Author Lounge, then just visit my website, www.mtwimagesolutions.com, and schedule yourself to be on the show. I would love to meet you, and I would love to help you to highlight your book. And speaking of books, before I leave, I do want to give a huge congratulations to my newest author, Shareen Taylor, whose book is going to be, there we go. Her book will be hitting the book stands on July 1st. Hidden Treasures in Darkness. It is a very, very personal and very poignant memoir. I'm really looking forward to you all reading it. This book was actually published under Meet the World Publishing, and I'm so excited to have been a part of this project. And I wish her all the best. So make sure you guys check out Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and get a copy of this book, Hidden Treasures in Darkness. You will not be sorry that you read this book. Also, I do want to also remind you guys that I will be in Indiana for the Indiana Black Expo. So I would love to see you guys there. And in August, I will be at the National Black Book Club Conference. I'm so excited. This is going to be my first time there. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to meeting so many amazing book clubs, because you guys are the reasons why we authors do what we do, because you guys are just very amazing readers. You're dedicated and you're so encouraging. And I thank all of you for that. So once again, that's all I have for tonight. Don't forget to check the Meet the World Image Solutions pages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn and TikTok, because the first countdown special will be posted tonight. You will be able to get some resources from the Right to Win Resource Center, super, super cheap. And I'm going to have a different special every day leading up to my birthday, which is June 29th, hence the crown. So I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, but don't forget to check that page, because that first special is coming very soon. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.